Okay. So it's late at night. Well, technically it's like, very early in the morning, and I don't know how to articulate what I'm thinking. Because lately I've been sort of working and looking at society in the same way I always have, and I yearn for the trees, is what I'm saying. I sort of just want to go into them and just be in that peaceful environment, obfuscated from the rest of society. I want to be able to live with a sense of ease and grace that is rarely afforded to anybody in our modern age. I'm fiddling with a piece of jade stone. It's my favourite kind of rock. When I mean the trees, I envision the small woodlands I used to hike in and bushwhack in during my teenage years. They were relatively wild and unexplored. I mean, people have probably explored them, but to me they were a sort of new frontier every time. Every time I walked across a field into another one, a new one, it was a new place to learn, and you got to see things like deer and rabbits and foxes and stuff like that. I say stuff like that, animals, but if we're just talking about like nature in general, like fauna, yeah. And they were very peaceful places, but they were also very eerie. There was an eerie calm to it all, and every single sound has meaning. There isn't the hum. I'm not sure if people get what I mean, but like when you live in sort of a built up area, you have this like hum constantly going on and it never really leaves. It's like, but in the woods there isn't that. There's this, every single footprint or call moves through silence. Even the wind does. But yeah. And I don't think that people are bad, or like, I mean, I don't know. Society is a thing, like, is an idea. I think is a pretty good idea, you know. It kind of has to be. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think one that oppresses the people that how do I put this? If a society oppresses the people of which it itself consists of, I'm trying to come up with an eloquent way of saying it. Yeah, so a society, kind of like a table, right? This is less elegant, but you get what I mean. But like, if you oppress the legs, if you constrict how the legs can be, then it's not really holding itself up for the right reasons. You know, like, a society is made up of people, but as soon as the society itself oppresses those people for the sake of its own sort of survival needs, let's say, like, the idea ends up oppressing the, like, progenitors of itself, or whatever. I don't know, I can't come up with poetic ways of saying things at this hour. Then it kind of is completely, you know, debased itself. It becomes a sort of self-flagellating, or flagellating, I don't know how it's pronounced, tool, you know, like a whip that people use on themselves. Of course, everybody is subject to it, because it's a system that allows you to get your survival needs met, you know, your food and water and shelter, and your social needs as well. When I say I yearn for the trees, I might make a poem about this and then post it. I don't know. I'll write a poem and then I'll see how it goes. But yeah, when I say I yearn for the trees, I yearn for a private place. I don't hate people. I don't hate being around them. I like people. I like talking to people sometimes. And I just wish that I could not be caught up in the bullshit. Basically. There's another thing that's been on my mind. I worry about my mum because, how do I put this? I am not, I guess you'd say, like, a square person. You know, I kind of want to be a free spirit, if that's not already obvious, you know, about the tree thing. And I don't know, I disagree with her on some things, politically, socially, that sort of stuff. And I've had personal disagreements with her as well. Because, I know, especially with, I'm not going to mention it, you already know about it. But yeah. And yeah, I get upset about some of it. I do. But at the end of the day, I do still love her. It's just, I don't see eye to eye with her on a lot of stuff. Nonetheless, I still worry about her because, I don't know, she's in her 40s and she still smokes, and I get concerned about her health. And I don't know, I'm still ill, but at the same time I'm trying to talk in a lower tone. So sorry if I was properly pronouncing things and projecting, then I'd probably sound a lot better. But yeah, I still worry about her health, and I want her to be okay. Do you know what I mean? As independent as I want to be, and as how do you put it? Firm in my beliefs, I guess. Saying, this is what I believe, this is what I'm going to do. I'm determined to do it. As much as that is true, I can't help but feel this deep sadness when, when I have a disagreement with her or something, or when I think about the fact that she's not going to be around forever. As lovely as it would be if she was around forever, Sorry, I just hit my mic. God damn it. I know that's not going to happen. And there are things I want to do. Experiences I want to have, and challenges I want to overcome. I guess. Things I want to embrace, and my mum's bound to not be okay with some of them. I mean, some small things she's not okay with. At the same time, there's this urge to capitulate, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but just be tender, I guess, towards her. And spend as much time with her as possible. I mean, she's not... I don't know. She's not dying or anything. I think she's okay. Apart from the smoking, I guess. Sorry, I got a cold. Got a snot rag. But yeah. I think that's also another reason why I yearn for the trees. Like, I want to have a deep connection with people, but at the same time I want to do my own thing without being judged. Even if it's a motherly judgment, you know. Or a fatherly judgment even. Like, I know that whole thing of, you know, your parents, you know, they try and do what's best for you or what they think is best for you. And at some point you've got to like kind of break away. But I live in this house at the minute, so it's kind of hard to do that. Suppose I just have to save my money and bide my time. I still want to have like a deep connection with her, obviously. But I want to do that while having an independent life of my own. Establishing myself in the world. Okay, right. Side tangent. This is all very, you know, I don't know, you probably get the deal with these videos right now. They're like a bit personal. My voice either sounds like I'm kind of, I know, to me at least, it always sounds either like I'm really enthusiastic or I'm about to burst into tears. Sometimes that's true, actually. Ever since I've sort of unlocked my emotions, I've, god damn it, congestion constantly. Ever since I've like unlocked my full emotional range, I've been in situations where I have found myself on the verge of tears. And see, before I would think, oh, you know, it's no big deal. Do you know what I mean? There's no reason to cry. But I don't know. I look back on a lot of things and I'm like, why didn't I cry? Or why didn't I feel something? And I was like, oh, just something was choked up, I guess. There was like a blockage. I think there's like it's just tension in myself, and as soon as that sort of got cleared out, I was able to emote, you know. Like, emotions aren't a bad thing. The more you like contain things and you don't feel things, not because they don't affect you, but because you cannot express how they are affecting you. Like, the more it gets piled on over time, and then you have like a breakdown or something. But now I just sort of just like respond to things emotionally, and it's like, okay, that happened, now I can deal with it. I'm so thirsty and congested all of the time. I'm trying to get the last cup of coffee out of this mug. There we go. That's given me the strength and determination to carry on. So, yeah, like, that's how I see emotions now, I guess. A lot of people get obsessed with this idea of stoicism, or like being very steadfast, and that's okay, I guess, but I think it's sort of a caricature sometimes that people invest their time into. It's like, we are beings. We came into existence through, a bunch of emergent processes, and emotions are part of that. And I think, like, emotions are, your first, most primitive, I wouldn't even say primitive, I'd say like initiative, like process of stimulus, And I don't know, there's some times where you gotta like rein it in. That just happens with everything, moderation. But yeah, I'm thinking, sorry. Yeah, you can't deny them, because you're going to feel them anyway. I think that's the paradox with emotions. Like, you're going to feel them anyway, so there's no point in really pushing them down so hard to the point where it causes you, like, mental strife and emotional strife to do that. You might as well react and then get out of your system so you can act, do the reasonable thing. Like, if my dog, I don't know, I don't really have to, well, family's got dogs, right? I don't have an individual dog. But like, if a dog, died or something, and of course I'd be upset. And I'd allow that to happen. And then I can, move forward after feeling that. But like, if, I don't know, a nephew of mine were to like break something that I find valuable, then of course I'm gonna like I'm not gonna like burst into anger and like, just fucking like yell, be like, what the hell are you doing? Like start swearing my head off. Of course I'm gonna like restrain myself enough so that I can give him like, a stern reason as to why that was wrong. I think I'm just repeating myself, but in a different way here. Sorry. So, is this, I don't know, because I've been thinking about this, is this still a Denpar channel? I don't know, maybe. I mean, it's like associated with like Denpa-chan and that, so I don't know, but then again, is it Denpa by association? I don't know. Maybe. See, that's the thing, like, I suppose I'll just keep it as, like, Denpa-themed vlogs, I guess. Even though, like, I'm not a very big weeb, I tend to, like, be into very niche, weird experiences, so I guess... I don't know. Might be a bit mental as well, so... yeah. What is there else for me to talk about? Because I'm just like... blah, you know? Blah, 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 blah. Like, talking on this vlog. Let's see. Well, I've been cycling recently. And like, how do I put this? I mean, when I used to like cycle when I was younger, like as a kid or something, I mean, I don't know, I know I have autism because I learnt to cycle when I was like 11 years old. No joke, it took me that long. Still not very good at it. I don't know, I can ride it fine, but it's more so like having to think about it as I'm doing it still a little bit. Doesn't like come completely naturally. I kind of have to like constantly check myself. But like when you've spent the last few years only having the bus and your own 2 feet as transport, a bike feels like, I don't know, like, it feels like, I don't know how to describe this. It's like when you get a horse in Skyrim, I guess. Like, all of a sudden, you can kind of go faster. And you can fast travel without having to pay. And when you're over encumbered, you know. It's great. And it doesn't really take up any more stamina than walking, in my opinion. I mean, I've been walking a lot, so I'd say I've got a decent amount of stamina. I can walk for like, I don't know, I don't know how long I can walk without having to take a rest. I guess it will probably be somewhere from like, I could walk like 7 miles non-stop without resting. Maybe I could push it to like 10 without resting. But, you know, that's not the greatest, I guess. But it's still pretty good. So, cycling doesn't really take up that much stamina. At least not in the cardiovascular department. It's more intense on like your calves. Sorry, like your quads, excuse me. And your hamstrings, obviously, I think. So like, there's that, but... God, sorry, the mic. I need to like adjust this properly. Or like have some kind of like distance discipline from the mic. But yeah. If you're physically fit, in the cardiovascular department and you've got decently strong legs and endurant legs, then cycling is like free travel. You know, you can get bikes for so cheap. I mean, not like new bikes for cheap, but like there's always someone with a bike they don't need. So, there you go. Actually, circling back, I can't remember in Skyrim if there's ever actually like mounted enemies. I don't think there is. You don't really see anyone riding a horse. Like soldiers or enemies or whatever, which I always found like really bloody strange. I don't know. I don't know why. Because that would have been really cool. I don't know. I mean, I got Skyrim when it came out. So maybe there's been some changes with mods and stuff that I haven't checked up on. I don't even know if anybody plays Skyrim anymore. I think it came out in like 2011 or something. So it's been like more than a decade. I feel old. Ah well. Okay, I think my brain filter has been cleaned out. You know, like when you like pour the coffee through the coffee filter and like you get like the weird little like coffee sludge. That's kind of what all of this stuff is. Like I've been having lots of thoughts and then most of it gets turned into like productive, like, you know, comprehension juice, and the rest of it is kind of like meh. I don't know. I mean, some of this stuff is like pretty heavy stuff, but it's not refined. That's why it's in the filter, I guess. Stuff I haven't really like pushed through into being pure thought. Like thought juice that you can like drink and like feel. So yeah, that was a good use of the glucose going to my brain. You know, I'm just fucking rambling, I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna stop this now.